Hi everyone, welcome to the New England Racing Show, Manchester, New Hampshire, Channel 23, also on YouTube, and like us on Facebook. You'll get the show on your Facebook page. Well, a couple of days ago we were at Lee for the Ocktoberfest. On Sunday they had all their features. So we did tape the late model Sportsman feature and the hobby stocks. So let's get to that. Here's the start of the late model. Nick Magnotti making his move for second.
Yellow is out. Saw the 13 of Jimmy Russell up there. He's got damage to the left front. 89 of Kyle Roy going the wrong way. And
Frankie Eldridge up against the wall.
09 up against the wall in turn one. So we're under caution with 3 laps complete.
This is the Ocktoberfest, also known as the Wreckfest. Oh, Magnotti in the wall.
Right in the front row. Look out. Trouble right at the start. Including Magnotti in the 63. Mixing it up. The number 1 of Sanborn involved as well. Everybody's
Parts were all over the track.
Scattered race parts, car parts all over the race surface.
Skip's towing right on the scene.
Just got a little too tight.
Well, this was a pretty common occurrence Sunday. They call it Wreckfest because you get people showing up from all different tracks that maybe never raced here. And then you get people that might show up, haven't shown up all year long, show up with a car. And what Lee likes to do, they take the slowest cars and they put them on the front row. And then they take the fastest cars and they put them right behind them. So I guess that's supposed to create excitement. Instead, people get hurt, cars get wrecked. And if that's Lee's idea of excitement, it's not the way to go for sure. But they just insist on doing this. Pretty much every division had huge wrecks.
One really slammed the wall down into turn 1, and 63 ended up there as well. So, in the field. Pace car here for the weekend.
Okay, here's a restart.
We get ready for the restart with only 3 laps down. Here they come. Green flag.
Grant Athier out front. I think they put the 96 in the back, saying that he ran Nick Magnotti into the wall on the start. No excuse for that if you're the pole sitter to run the guy up into the wall.
out in front. Where is Chase? And a pretty good down. And short in and the first Rodwell, the 95 of St. Pierre, all right there.
There's the 2 leaders. Usually nobody can keep up with Grant, but this second place car is doing a pretty good job. These are late model Sportsmen. They're not like ACT late models that have the 602 crate engines with a 2-barrel. These guys have built engines. I'm sure some of them have about 20,000 in the engine. Comparatively, that's not much compared to an ISMA Super. Those are, as you saw when we did the tour at New England Motor Racing Supply, and they were $40,000 to $65,000 for an engine. I mean, these cars are, you know, almost pro stocks. Maybe the tires are different and a few other things, the frame. There's the 2 leaders coming up on a lap car. Well, that's amazing that somebody can keep up with Grant like that. Actually, almost pass him. Grant's probably looking in his mirror going, holy crap, what's this? He's used to having his own way all year. Now they're coming up on some lap cars. This will get interesting. But Grant knows how to play the game. Yeah, use the lap car and pin him. Sometimes it can, second place can get under the lap car, and that gets real interesting. But Grant pinned him behind the lap car. It's fun to do that on the highway too. Somebody's trying to right lane you 80 miles an hour and you're going like 65, and they think they're going to cut in front of you, and you just pin them behind a car. And say, obviously, they don't have much experience racing. You look at some woman with a couple of kids in the back. Those cars with a little baby on board signs, those are the most dangerous and aggressive drivers I've seen. Oh, he tried to get under and there wasn't enough room. That was getting good too. I thought he might have been able to pass Grant. But he made a go for it, and it didn't work out.
Aether went to the high side. Ware tried to make some room on the inside by trying to muscle the lap car up out of the way, and ended up connecting with him, and some damage to the front and the left side of the number 20.
Number 20, his last name is Ware. So he's going to the back. Doesn't really want to, but that's too bad. That was a good duel for the lead.
Stand by. After this event, we have the drawing of the 50-50
This is Pete Falcone announcing. He's probably one of the best announcers around. Knows the cars, knows his stuff, knows racing, and gives a good description of what's going on out there. Pretty wicked cool announcer, if you ask me. 5 to go. Second, third, fourth, fifth right there.
So that's your top 5. Sixth is the 80 of Boyd Bennett. Seventh is the 0.
There's Grant out front. Second to 3 car. It looks like Ware again in 3rd place. Got back up there. Because there weren't many cars left after all this destruction. Or as Lee calls it, excitement. Grant takes it. On the infield, there were what's left of all the Valente modified trailers. They had the 100-lap race. Pretty controversial. Tommy Barrett was charging at the end, as he usually does. And he was so much faster than some of these lap cars, he bumped into a couple of them on his way by. Here's the hobby stock start. And I guess they didn't like that, so they DQ'd him with a few laps to go. And he passed the leader, was winning the race, and I guess they came over the radio and told him he was DQ'd because he bumped a couple of cars. But he didn't bump him in the turns. He just came up on him in the straightaway and tapped him. And I think the closing speed was so great that he probably didn't realize that. Because I'm sure, there was no reason for him to give anyone a shot like that, a lap car. And I think they just don't like Tommy for whatever reason. And DQ'd him. He stopped on the start-finish line, got out of his car, and they told him to get out. And he left pretty ticked off, and the crowd was ticked off too. Richard Savory was declared the winner, and he got booed quite a bit. which, it's not fair to Richard Savory, but should boo the officials that made that stupid call. There's rumors that some of the team owners and drivers in the Valente series have had enough, and they're starting a new series. So next week we're going to have Mike Douglas Jr., who races a modified all around, and we'll talk about that and other things that have to do with modified racing, the Tour, Star Modifieds. This was a pretty good race. Mark Pirano in the 74. He's handling real good. Get around the inside like that. There were some good battles right up all the way through the field. That's why I love the hobby stocks at Lee. They put on the best show. They had so many at the Ocktoberfest that they had to do two races. What they call an A, which is this, and the B, which was Saturday night. And even the hobby stocks have some big bucks in some of those engines. I mean, you could buy a small block Super complete, I think, for less than some of these guys have in their engines. Which is kind of sad to say that. Just another example of how costs get out of hand in some of these divisions. Yep, so in the Super race, the man in the tower, in his infinite wisdom, decided to put the two slowest cars, and I mean they were slow, on the front row, and then put the four fastest cars right behind them. Everyone knew that this was going to be a disaster. Everyone except the man in the tower, who I'll let be unnamed, and even the pit steward tried to warn him not to do that, but the man in the tower knows best. So the four fast cars behind them were put in a terrible position. They either had to try to pass these front row cars as fast as they could, or get run over from the fast cars around them and behind them. And that's what happened. We had a huge wreck on the first lap. Two cars got wrecked. One driver went to the hospital. And the fans got excitement, which is what the man in the tower wants, is excitement. Not too happy about this, as you can tell. My son was involved in it. And people, the two drivers on the front row, during the year, this has happened before, because this is the man in the tower's favorite little tactic, is to put the slow cars in the front row. And they would say, hey, I don't belong here, I'm going to go start in the back, which was using common sense. So there's a 37 going around. And, but these two drivers thought that they were, I don't know what they were thinking. Thought that they had a shot to win, even though they were a second slower a lap. And sure enough, there was a huge accident on the first turn of the first lap as the four fast cars were trying to get around them. And the two in the front just decided that they were going to block the inside of the field, the track, and they went flying up into the wall. So that's Lee's idea of excitement. I mean, why don't we just throw the drivers to the lions and let everybody watch them get killed? Oh, another wreck. Not sure who some of these cars are. They come from other tracks.
It looks like Route 93 in an ice storm up there. Wow. Everybody piles on in. It started with Dave McDonald.
72 is a lead car.
And he was up there in the top 5. Austin Blaze in trouble in the 16. Kevin Bowman.
Well, the nice thing about these full-fended cars is they can take a little more, bit more punishment when they hit the wall than the supers do. Okay, we've got another restart coming up.
Okay, so restart strategies start to come into play. These are always
Still a few cars, a lot of cars left.
shift or a spun wheel.
Not like the late model race, which started with over 20 and ended up half of that within 4 laps.
Green flag.
Mark Parento still leading.
And Moreno again out in front, but right behind him.
It's hard to hang on the outside like that,
Jim Shorey in the 80.
especially if you're not a lead car and you don't know the track. And there's Jim Shorey in the 80, right behind Mark.
Well, Justin Travis, and that's going to bring out the caution flag.
Another yellow. Spin in the 4th turn.
And Belfiore in row number 2. Here they come.
I wonder if that's Justin's, one of Justin's relatives in the 2nd row. Another Belfiore.
And being hounded by Jim Shorey.
Well, they always run up front, so if you see a Belfiore running up front, it's probably one of Justin's relatives. I like watching these battles for the lead or whatever. It's like a chess match. You say, how's a guy in 2nd place going to pass him? How's a guy in 1st place going to hold him off? He's giving him plenty of room. He's not blocking the track. And Jim Shorey's not smashing him out of the way. It's clean racing. 5 to go. Shorey's got some good acceleration coming off the corners. He tapped him, but he backed off and let him get straightened out. That's what a gentleman racer will do when he accidentally hit somebody like that. I've seen Babe Branscombe do that a few times at Star. 3 to go. Good battle there for third and fourth, too. Oh, it's got to be a Belfiore, 98. That's their number. 1 to go. Oh, does he have him? Oh, I thought he had him. He could have had him if he wanted to wreck him, but that's not what Jim Shorey wanted to do, and he took second. Good racing. That was a good show.
Then the 78 in the 5th spot, and Crystal Sarandisky in the 8RI. Well, Mark Moreno does a stellar job to hold on to the lead. That's for sure.
Jim Shorey, second place. Belfiore in third. And Mark Parento doing the burnout.
He was getting a lot of high Hawaiians from Jim Shorey in the latter stages of that race. And he goes on to win.
That was a good race.
Great race. That's why we call them the unpredictable hobby stocks, because sometimes they put on some outstanding racing.
Good job, Pete Falcone. He's the wicked cool announcer, if I may say so. Okay.
Boy, I'm very happy Mark Peretti in victory lane here in that number 74 car. He is one excited race car driver. And boy, that was a hard-fought victory for Mark Peretti as he untakes his safety gear off, helmet's off. You talk about a happy race car driver. Here he is, Mark Peretti in victory lane, man. Good run.
Thank you. A little exhausted. First time in victory lane this year. Had a tough year in the lead model Sportsman. And I wouldn't be here without some great friends. Brian House, he helped me out quite a bit. Russ Dufanet, Center Street Auto, Ron Dufanet, Scott Pettypost. They lost a motor last week, and they brought me here. A lot of hard work, and I don't even know how to thank them. I'm excited.
Well, we know the feeling there in Victory Lane to win like that on the Ocktoberfest is pretty interesting, pretty exciting. Congratulations to Mark Parento, the winner of the Hobby Stocks, and Grant Ather, the winner of the Late Model Sportsman. There were a lot of other divisions. They had 18 divisions in all. And there's a lot of exciting races. New England Classic Lights were there. They also had a few antique modifieds, a couple of Richie Evans modifieds, which everyone loves to see from the 70s, early 80s possibly. And it was a nice day for racing. Nice weather, and there's a lot of good racing. So next week we're going to have Mike Douglas Jr. here in studio, and we're going to talk all about modifieds. Valente Series, Wheel and Tour, maybe Racer Champions, Star Modifieds, but cover the whole thing. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all next week.